Hello everybody! Today's video is going to be my journey as a dyslexic, how I grew up, how I found out I was dyslexic, and what I am doing now coping as a dyslexic as an adult. To me it's a very traumatic story. Maybe it's not like super traumatic for everybody else, but for me it was being dyslexic and being how severely dyslexic I am really shaped my life. It has definitely defined me. I know it's like something you're supposed to say it's not supposed to define you, but I am so severely dyslexic that I've had to cope in so many ways to get to be a functioning adult. And I'll get into that when we get into that part. Yeah, so I want to start for when I was young, super young. I would say most of my life, I think I pretty much knew something was off, even when I was like probably 3 or 4. You know, my friends would be doing ABCs, they'd be counting, and I remember not understanding, like looking at it, and it was, I can envision, you know, I don't have like actual memory because I was so young, but I can remember just going, no, like, I don't get it. But I would just move on. I was a little kid, you know, it didn't matter. I know that my parents chalked it up to me just being a slow learner when I was really little. But I mean, I'm not even kidding you, like ABCs, numbers, like 2nd grade, I had 0. Like it was, like I could sing the ABCs, but it was all by memory. Do you know what I mean? Like I learned it by, like, because it was a song. I'm really good at, I'm an audio learner. I can remember songs like that. I'm really good at singing, like with music. I'm a very quick learner in that sense. Like I can hear a song on the radio a few times and have like half the lyrics in my head done. It's just, that's just something I can do. I don't know. Kindergarten is when it really showed up. And before that, like preschool and like, or whatever daycare I was in, I was a very quiet child. I think that me being dyslexic and me not fitting in with academia made me a very quiet child. Like I remember my mom saying to me, like, I don't think I've heard you say 2 words today, Emily. I was very quiet, and I think I knew that something was wrong, and that I in my mind I wasn't smart, or I was dumb. I wasn't typical. I can remember feeling out of sorts, like something's wrong, like this is not normal. And this is, I'm young, like 5, 6, like a lot of self-hating, even that young. It's amazing when I think about it. It's really sad. So kindergarten rolls around, I struggle like immensely. Like I can remember just going through school and not understanding anything. I would literally just make up stories in my head. I would just sit at my desk. I remember just like tracing the wood lines with my fingers. I would understand literally nothing. I can remember by the end, like I could figure out my name. I could write my name by looking at it and doing it. I remember practicing my letters, but it's all by visual and like copying. I could not like see an A, write an A, say an A. Like it just never, it didn't work. Like my brain would not comprehend it. So kindergarten, I remember I was put into a special ed class. It was one time a day. I believe it was like a half hour, and it was very small, and it wasn't like IEP or anything. I wasn't like diagnosed yet. I was just kind of going there to like practice, and it didn't feel like I was in a special ed education thing. It just felt like I was going there really quick and then coming back, and it was nice because I remember not feeling singled out, because that happened later. So kindergarten was rough, but I think the teachers thought, again, like my parents did, more time. Emily just needs more time. And so we transfer schools. I go into a school district that was we believed would have really helped me. It had a lot of money. We were in a very rich neighborhood. I know it sounds weird to say that, but it was true. My mom really thought, my dad thought that this was going to be the best school for me because there was a lot of funding. So I get there, 1st grade rolls around, and it did not go well. And I remember getting tested in these classes. I don't really know exactly how it went down. Again, I was a little kid. And I was eventually put into an IEP. I know my mom says, and my dad says, I wasn't diagnosed as a dyslexic yet. I was an IEP. So I had, oh my gosh, phonics, like, I don't know, where you practice words, because I had a really hard time recalling words. I think that's called dysnomia, but again, my mom passed away recently, and these are all the questions I would have asked her. My dad doesn't really remember much. I think, you know, he's a dad. You know, moms remember everything. So I don't know everything that went down. I just know from what she's told me before in the past when I've asked about it. So I wasn't diagnosed till later in the school when I was like second grade. First grade, I start, it does not go well. They decide to hold me back. So I hit kindergarten again. And that was really traumatizing, being held back. One, I had friends that moved on, then I went back a grade. And I was teased mercifully, like unbelievably teased. I was called stupid. I was called an idiot. I was teased and like, you can't do your homework, you can't do your schoolwork, you're just a stupid idiot. I'm in kindergarten and first grade. Like, I don't know, maybe my school was very, I don't know. They were little kids, but they were merciless. They were mean. They were just nasty people, little kids. I had no friends. I think I had one or two maybe. Recess was the worst time. I was picked on and teased so much. Physical fights, first grade, second grade, like we're getting punched and kicked and scratched, and like, this is not normal. But I was so struggling in school that kids didn't know what to do with it. I looked typical, but I definitely didn't act typical. I felt very stupid, and they took advantage of that, and I was teased and ridiculed for it. So I got held back. I still struggled. I don't know what it's called, but IEP, where we worked on words and recalling words, because I would say like a refrigerator is called like this silver box that keeps things cold. I wouldn't be able to recall the words. I did that, and then I had one other class that I did that with one teacher, and we would just go over letters and reading. And let me tell you, I manipulated the system because my teacher didn't know what to do with me, and it was really hard. You know, they just put me in a corner, they put me in this IEP class, and they didn't help me. I needed one-on-one all the time. Like, I was probably somebody who needed like a one-on-one aid with me because I could not get anything. We would go for that half-hour class or hour class, and I would just start sounding out the word, and then she'd finish it. Do you know what I mean? To be like, the, I go, then she'd go, the, and I go, she'd go, box, and I go, in, like, it was like that. And so I knew how to manipulate the system because I didn't want to feel stupid, and I didn't want to have to struggle, and no one was really helping me. And so I just figured out a way how to get through it. Like, I couldn't do computer class. I couldn't do, like, I could not do any of school. Like, it was so bad. So my mom said around, I believe, when I first started second grade, I get the diagnosis of dyslexic. But at that point, I couldn't read a kindergarten book. I could barely do my ABCs. I couldn't count to 100. My mom was really upset. And at that point, this is when things got serious for me. Because one, I was getting into fights at school. I started doing musical theater though at that point, and things started getting better for me. In that sense, I felt something I was good at, and I could sing and I could perform, and it made me feel good. So I had this weird confidence with this, but then in school I was like the worst. So I'd go to school and be like, I did a play, I was in Alice Wonderland, and my friends would be like, well, you're a stupid idiot, and then they'd attack me and I'd attack them. And I mean, I was in the principal's office all the time. I sound like and I never started these fights, and I'm being real with you. I know it was a long time ago. I'm the person who I am right now the person who I was when I was a little girl. I have never changed who I am. I'm always kind, I'm always thoughtful, I'm always somebody looking out for the other guy. People didn't like that I was different, and they didn't like that I had any confidence at all, and they would just, I don't know, it was a lot. So in 2nd grade, I hit a low point, and I guess, because I only have a vague memory of it, I was in my room and I took a bungee cord and I wrapped it around my neck, and I went to the doorknob and I tried to hang myself. And I was in 2nd grade, you know. I don't even think I could wrap my mind around what that meant and even how to kill myself. Do you know what I mean? My mom found me, and within, I think, 3 weeks, I was pulled out of school, and she decided to homeschool me. And things got better. Nothing in my life, but recently my mom dying has been as bad as that point, and I was a little girl. Just feeling like you're stupid all the time and nobody understands, and you're like, well, I'll never be able to do anything because I can't read and write, and everyone's telling me I can't do it. So my mom saved me, and I'm so grateful she saved me. She gave up everything for me. So at that point, she had a homeschooling program, and we worked and worked and worked on letters, repetitiveness. She didn't have any skills to teach me. She didn't have any dyslexic knowledge. She just watched me and said, this is gonna work. This is gonna help Emily. And we just repeated ourselves over and over. I did ABCs, I did letters, I did numbers, we did phonics, we did everything that I needed to know. Jump a few years, we tried to put me back into school around 5th grade, and it was better, but I still couldn't keep up. Like, I still, like, math, reading, writing, I had some skills, but I still was so far behind the other kids. I just couldn't keep up. It was impossible. So 1 year of that, barely got through that, but I wasn't teased or ridiculed so much because I learned how to hide it. Like, that's one of the things that I think dyslexics do. We hide our disability because people don't get it, and they judge you. They think you're stupid. I learned that from when I was a little kid too. But you know, it was hard when I was a little kid. The teachers they could hear, well, why aren't you getting this, Emily? What's going on? And da da da. And when you're older, you can learn how to manipulate the situation and have the teacher not react that way. You know, I cheated a lot. I can remember with my spelling tests, I would have little pieces of paper, have them written out in my hand, just to get through. I cheated a lot. I sound awful. Oh my god. But it was that bad. It was so bad. So 1 year that I got pulled out, and she homeschooled me the rest. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. My mom taught me the best that I could do. I got through it the best I could, but my at that point, technology wasn't where it was at, and my comprehension of things just is not like everybody else. I do have a short-term, long-term memory problem as well that I probably should have mentioned. I have a great long-term memory when I hear it and it's like sung to me, but visual, it's all in one ear out the other, or visual, and it just does not stick. So my mom would teach me math, I would have it, and then the next day it would be like I never learned it. So I had a lot of things going against me. So yeah, school, I did not meet all the requirements, if you know what I mean. For high school, my mom taught me life skills. She taught me a job that I can do, and she gave me the confidence that I can do anything. And my disability doesn't define me, but it does define me. It really does. It is something I deal with every single day of my life. It is something that I hate. It has held me back on so many things. I can't even, it held me back on everything. I couldn't go to college. I couldn't, I can't, like, writing an Instagram post. I have to have an app that helps me. I can't write essays. I couldn't anything. Like, every job, if I wanted to be a checker at a grocery store, I have to disclose I'm a dyslexic, and then I have to memorize things to, like, all the codes. Like, I can't, like, it doesn't work like everybody else. It's a process. There's so much that goes on to being me as a dyslexic that normal people don't have to go through. And that's why I lean on Will a lot. Like, he has to go through the mail if we have mail coming in, because he can read properly, and he can, you know, read it quickly and decipher it and put it where it needs to be. I can't do that. I will screw it up and miss paying the house payment. Do you know what I mean? So it's very important that he does those things. So what I do now is that I have a few apps. So I have an app right here. It's called Text to Speak. And so, like, I can write, hi, how are you? And then it'll play it back to me.
Hi, how are you?
So I know that it's the right spelling, it sounds right, and then I copy and paste it, and I send it in an email, in a text message, in my work emails. I have this, and then I can copy and paste any email, any text into here, and it'll read it to me. And that's what I do. I can read. Like, I'm not, like, illiterate. I can read, but one, I'm very slow. I can't read out loud, and it's a process. But I can do it, and I do it all the time. I do read all the time. But if it's something very important, I use my technology. Thank God iPhones, like, seriously, changed my life. This, like, technology has really opened my world for my job, for my kids. Like, if there's something, like, I have an app, I don't know which one it is, I haven't used it in a long time. I don't think I have it, but it's where if I was desperate and I needed to read something now, it'll scan it and read it to me. It's not great though, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, it's, like, kind of wonky. But the iPhone just recently changed something. Let me see if I find a text that I can, so, like, I'm looking at bedding right now for my kids, and Will texted his mom, and then there's a speak button, right? It's like, no.
Okay, the pink princess for the girls and the last one for the boys.
It reads it for me. So it's so, being a dyslexic, like, this thing changed my world. Without an iPhone, I would have nothing. I couldn't do Instagram, I couldn't do Facebook, I couldn't do any of it, because I need those programs to read for me. I can't spell worth garbage. Like, don't ever ask me to spell anything. It'll shock you. Like, it's really bad. But all I can tell you is when I was younger, they told me that I had the worst case they've ever seen of dyslexia. And then I had the short-term, long-term memory problem, the dysnomia problem. There were probably other things going on too, but this was in the 90s. I don't think IEP and special needs stuff and whatever wasn't like it is today. And that's something that I worry about my kids. If Win or any of my kids have dyslexia, like, how will they cope, and how will we get them to be able to keep up? Because I could not. I literally could not, no matter what. And my mom went through a lot to keep me home. She was ridiculed. She was told she was a bad mother. She was told, how dare you? Like, but I mean, my mom was saying my daughter tried to kill herself in 2nd grade. And she couldn't read anything. She didn't know her ABCs in 2nd grade. They were just pushing me through. That is not enough to become a functioning adult. And so she sacrificed everything and pulled me out. And yeah. I don't think I'd be here if she didn't do that. So my dad is dyslexic, not as bad as me. My brother is dyslexic, again, not as bad as me. I got the holy grail of dyslexic, dysnomia, short-term memory, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I suffer with every single day of my life. And it's hard not to say, why me? It's hard not to wish I could have done more. Like, I think I would have been, if I was typical, I think I would have been a doctor. I love medicine. I love to hear about it. I love the people in medicine. But I can't do math. I cannot read well. I cannot write well. It just would never have happened. Maybe in my next life, I don't know. But people say you wouldn't want it any other way. I wouldn't be the person who I am. As bad as my dyslexia is, I would rather be somebody else. And this is not like because I don't want to have my kids and da-da-da, but the struggle I've gone through and the hiding I've done and the fear that people won't like me or think I'm stupid has changed everything. I didn't tell Will I was dyslexic for a while to our relationship because I was so afraid he wouldn't like me. He would leave me. He would think I was stupid. And every day, even now, I struggle with feeling not enough, feeling dumb. Why does it have to be so hard? Why do I have to struggle? If somebody knows, like, you have to understand, when I go to the doctor's office, when I have to fill out paperwork, I have things all written out in my phone and I have to copy it, put it on there. Like, not everything. Like, I know my street address, I know my name, I can spell normal things. It's crazy. I should just be like, I'm dyslexic, I don't know how to spell this, blah, blah, blah. But it's embarrassing. And it really is. A lot of trauma I went through when I was a child. I think that's what made me fear people knowing. But now people know now. You guys know. But I'm hoping this video might enlighten some people. If you know people that are dyslexic, again, there are different levels of dyslexia. But if you hear about somebody struggling with learning, you know, definitely engage with them. Talk to them about it, because the hiding part is the worst part. Feeling stupid is the worst part. And if people talk about it and make it not seem like a big deal, then maybe it won't be so scary and so afraid, you know, all the time and when you're living, and maybe easier to be like, yeah, I'm dyslexic, I'm proud of it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Well, I think that is it for my story. It's a lot. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer. I don't know if I forgot anything, but yeah. So we're gonna end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe on the video for us. We'd super appreciate it. Follow you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, listen to our podcast, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, guys, you guys are wonderful.